Distant time. I know not from what distant time thou art ever coming nearer to meet me. Thy sun and stars can never keep thee hidden from me and aye. In many a morning and eve, thy footsteps have been heard, and thy messenger has come within my heart and called me in sacred. I know not only why today in my life is all still, and a feeling of tremendous joy is passing through my heart. It is as if the time were come to wind up my work, and I feel in the air a faint smell of thy sweet presence. Rabindranath Tagore, amazing. Dungeon. He whom I enclose with my name is weeping in this dungeon. I'm very busy building this wall all around, and as this wall goes up into the sky day by day, I lose sight of my true being in its dark shadow. I take pride in this great wall, and I plaster it with dust and sand, lest at least hole should be left in this name. And for all the care I take, I lost sight of my true being. Endless time. Time is endless in thy hands, well, Lord, there is none to count thy minutes. Days and nights pass, ages bloom and fade like flowers, thou knowest how to wait. Thy centuries follow each other, perfecting a small white flower. We have no time to lose a hand, having no time, we must scramble for a chance. We are too poor to be late, and thus it is that time goes by while I give it to every querulous man who claims it, and thine altar is empty of all the offerings to the last. At the end of the day, I hasten and fear lest that gate be shut, but I find that yet there is time. Face to face. Day after day, O Lord of my life, shall I stand before thee face to face, with folded hands, O Lord of all worlds, shall stand before thee face to face, under the great sky in solitude and silence, with humble heart shall I stand before thee face to face, in this laborious world of thine, its tumultuous with toil, and with struggle among hurrying crowds, shall I stand before thee face to face, and with my work shall be done in this world, O King of kings, alone and speechless, shall I stand before thee face to face. Fairyland. Fairyland. If people came to know where my king's palace is, it would vanish into the air. The walls are of white silver and the roof of shining gold. The queen lives in a palace with 7 courtyards, and she wears a jewel that costs her the wealth of 7 kingdoms. But let me tell you, mother, in a whisper, where my king's palace is. It is at the corner of our terrace where the pot of the tulsi plant stands. The princess lies sleeping on the faraway shore of the 7 impassable seas. There is none in the world who can find her but myself. She has bracelets on her arms and pulls round drops in her ears. Her hair swaves down upon the floor, but she will wake when I touch her with my magic wand, and jewels will fall from her lips when she smiles. But let me whisper in your ear, mother, she is there in the corner of our terrace where the pot of the tulsi plant stands. When it is time for you to go to the river for your baths, step up to that terrace on the roof. I sit in the corner where the shadow of the walls meet together. Only Puss is allowed to come up with me, and for she knows where the barber in the story lives. But let me whisper, mother, in your ear where the barber of the story lives. It is at the corner of the terrace where the pot of the tulsi stands. Flower. Pluck the little flower and take it, delay not. I fear lest it drop into the dust. I may not find the place in thy garland, but honor it with a touch of the paint from my hand and pluck it. I fear lest the day end before I am aware of the time of offering go by. Though its color be not deep and its smell be faint, use this flower in the service and pluck it while there is time. Fool. O fool, try to carry thyself upon thy own shoulders, O beggar, to come beg at thy own door. Leave all thy burdens on his hands, who can bear all and never look behind and regret. Thy desire at once puts out the life from the lamp and touches with its breath. It is unholy. Take not thy gifts through its unclean hand, accept only what is offered by sacred love. Free love. By all means, they try to hold me secure who love me in this world. But it is otherwise with thy love, which is greater than tears, and thou keepst me free. Lest I forget them, they never venture to leave me alone. But day passes by after day, and thou art not seen. If I call not thee in my prayers, if I keep not thee in my heart, thy love for me still waits for my love. Friend. Art thou abroad, On this stormy night, on this journey of love, my friend, the sky groans like one in despair. I have no sleep tonight. Ever and again, I open my door and look out on the darkness, my friend. I see nothing before me. I wonder where lies thy path. By what dim shore of the ink-black river, by what far edge of the frowning forest, through what mazy depths of the gloom art thou threading thy course to come to me, my friend? Give me strength. This is my prayer to thee, my Lord. Strike at the root of the pain within my heart. Give me the strength lightly to bear my joys and sorrow. Give me the strength to make my love fruitful in service. Give me the strength never to disown the poor or bend bad knees before insolent mind. Give me the strength to raise my mind high above the daily trifles. And give me the strength to surrender my strength to thee with thy love. Innermost one. He it is, the innermost one, who awakens my being with his deep hidden touches. He it is who puts his enchantment upon these eyes and joyful places on the course of my heart and varied candles of pleasure and pain. He it is who weaves the web of this Maya in evanescent hues of gold and silver, blue and green, and lets peep out through the folds his feet. At those touch I forget myself. Days come and ages pass, and it is ever he who moves my heart in many a name, in many a guise, in many a rapture of joy and sorrow. The innermost one. Journey home. The time that my journey takes is long, and the way of it long. I came out of the shadow of the first gleam of light, and pursued my voyage through the wilderness of the world, leaving my track on many a star and planet. It is the most distant course that comes nearest to thyself, and that training is the most intricate which leads to the utter simplicity of a tune. The traveler has to knock at every island door to come to his own, and one has to wander through all the outer worlds to reach the innermost shrine at the end. My eyes strayed far and wide before I shut them and said, Here art thou, the question and the cry, oh where, melt into tears of 1,000 streams and deluge the world with a flood of the assurance I am. Last curtain. I know that the day will come when my sight of this earth which shall be lost and life will take its leave in silence, drawing the last curtain over my eyes. Yet stars will watch at night and morning rises before an hour's eve, like sea waves casting up pleasures and pains. When I think of this end of my moments, the barrier of my moments breaks, and I see but light of the dead. Thy world with its careless treasures, rare is its lowest, loveliest seed, rare is its meanest of lives. Things that I long for in vain, and things that I got, let them pass. Let me but truly possess the things that I never spurned and overlooked. Leave this. Leaving this chanting and singing and telling of the beasts, whom dost thou worship in this lonely dark corner of a temple with doors all shut, open thine eyes and see thy God is not before thee. He is there where the tiller is tilling the hard ground and where the pathmaker is breaking stones. He is with them in sun and in shower, and his garments covered with dust. Puff off the holy mantle, and even like him come down on the dusty soil. Deliverance. Where is this deliverance to be found? Our Master himself has joyfully taken upon him the bonds of creation. He is bound with us all forever. Come out of the meditations and leave aside that flowers and incense. Where art harm is there, if thy clothes become tattered and stained. Meet him and stand by him in toil and in sweat of thy brow. Vaheguru. Lost Star. When the creation was new and all the stars shone in their first splendor, the gods held their assembly in the sky and sang, oh, the picture of perfection, the joy unalloyed. But one cried of a sudden, it seems that someone there is a break in the chain of the light, and one of the stars has been lost. The golden string of their harp snapped, their songs stopped, and they cried in dismay. Yes, that lost star was the best. She was the glory of all heavens. From that day, the search is unceasing for her, and the cry goes on from one to the other that in her world has lost its one joy. Only in the deepest silence of night and the stars smile and whisper among themselves, vain is the seeking, unbroken perfection is all over all. Little of me. Let only that little be left of me, whereby I am meaning thee my all. Let only that little be left of my will, whereby I may feel thee on every side and come to thee in everything and offer to thee my love every moment. Let only that little be left of me, whereby I may never hide thee. Let only that little of my fetters be left, whereby I am bound with thy will and thy purpose is carried out in my life, and that is the fetter of thy love. Little flute. Thou hast made me endless, such is thy pleasure, thy frail vessel, thou empties again and again and fills it ever with fresh life. This little flute of the reed thou hast carried over hills and dells and has breath through it melodies eternally anew. At the immortal touch of thy hands, my little heart loses its limit in the joy and gives birth to utterance ineffable. Thy infinite gifts come to me only on these very small hands of mine. Ages pass and still thou pours and still there's room to fill. Light. Light, my light, the world-filling light, the eye-kissing light, the heart-sweetening light. Ah, the light dances, my darling, at the center of my light. Life, the light strikes, my darling, the cause of my love. The sky opens and the wind runs while laughter passes over the earth. The butterfly spreads their cells on the sea of the light. Lilies and jasmine surge up the crest of the waves of light. The light is shattered into the gold on every cloud, my darling, and scatters gems in profusion. Mud sprays from leaf to leaf, my darling, and gladness without measure. The heavens river has drowned its banks, and the flood of the joy is abroad. Let me not forget. If this is not my portion to meet thee in this life, then let me never ever feel that I have missed thy sight. Let me not forget for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of this sorrow in my dreams and in my wakeful hours. As my days pass in the crowded market of this world and my hands grow full with the daily profits, let me ever feel that I have gained nothing. Let me not forget for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of the sorrow in my dreams and in my wakeful hours. When I sit by the roadside, tired and panting, when I spread my bed low in the dust, let me ever feel that the long journey is still before me. Let me not forget it for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of the sorrow in my dreams and in my wakeful hours. Let my rooms have been decked out and the flute sounds and the laughter there is loud. Let me ever feel that I have not invited thee to my house. Let me not forget for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of the sorrow in my dead dreams and in my wakeful hours. Little flute. Thou hast made me endless, such is thy pleasure. This frail vessel thou empties again and again and fills it ever with fresh life. This little flute of a reed thou hast carried over hills and dells and has breathed through its melodies eternally new. At the immortal touch of thy hands, my little heart loses its limit in joys and gives birth to utterance ineffable. Thy infinite gifts come to me only on these very small hands of mine. Ages pass and still thou pours and still there's room to fill. Lotus. On the day when the lotus bloomed, alas, my mind was string and I knew it not. My basket was empty and the flower remained unheeded. Only now and again a sadness fell upon me and I stared. I started up from a dream and felt a sweet trace of a strange fragrance in the south wind. That vague sweetness made my heart ache with longing, and it seemed to me that it was the eager breath of the summer seeking for its completion. I knew not then that it was so near, that it was mine, and that this perfect sweetness had blossomed in the depth of my own heart. Lover's gifts. Come to my garden, walk, my love. Pass by the forward flowers that press themselves on your side. Pass them by, stopping at some chance joy, which like a sudden wonder on sunset illumines yet elude. For lover's gift is shy, it never tells its name, it flits across the shade, spreading a shiver of joy along the others overtake it or miss it forever. But a gift that can be grasped is merely a frail flower or a lamp with flame that will flicker. She is near to my heart. She's near to my heart as a meadow flower to the earth. She is sweet to me as a slip is to tired limbs. My love for her is my life, flowing in its fullness like a river in autumn, flood running with serene abandonment. My songs are one with my love like the murmur of a stream that sings with all its waves and current. Tired of waiting. Tired of waiting, you burst your bonds, impatient flowers before the winter had gone. Glimpses of the unseen calmer breezed your wayside watch, and you rushed out running and panting, impulsive jasmine troops of righteous roses. You were the first to march to the bridge of the death of a glamour of color and perfume troubled the air. You laughed and pressed and pushed each other bed your breast and dropped in heaps. The summer will come in its time, sailing in the flood tide of the south wind. But you never counted slow moments to be sure of him. You recklessly spent all of years in the road in the terrible joy of faith. You heard his footsteps from afar and flung your mantle of death from him to tread upon your bonds break even before the rescuer has seen you make him your own ere he can come and claim you. In the beginning of time. In the beginning of time, there rose from the journey of God's dream two women. One is the dancer at the court of paradise, the desire of men, she who loves and plucks the minds of the wise from the cold meditations and of fools from their emptiness and scatters them like seeds with careless hands of extravagant wind of March in the flowering frenzy of May. The other is the crowned queen of heaven, the mother thrown to the fullness of golden autumn, she whose the harvest time brings straying hearts to the smile sweet as tears, the beauty deep as the sea of silence brings them to the temple of the unknown at the holy confluence of life and death. Things throng and laugh. Things throng and laugh loud in the sky. The sands and dust dance and whirl like children. Man's mind is a rosebud, it shouts his thoughts long to be the playmates of things, our dreams. Drifting in the stream of the wake, stretch their arm to clutch the earth, their efforts stiffen into bricks and stones, and thus the city of man is built. Voices come swarming from the past, seeking answer from the living moments. Beats of their wings fill the air with tremulous shadows, and sleepless thoughts of our minds leave their nest to take flight across the desert of dimness in the passionate thirst for forms. They are lampless pilgrims seeking the shore of the light to find themselves in things. They will be lured into poets' rhymes. They will be housed in the towers of the town not yet planned. They have their call to arms from the battlefields of the future. They are bidden to join hands in the strife of peace yet to come. Take back your coins. Take back your coins, king's counselor. I'm of those women you sent to the forest shrine to decoy the young ascetic who had never seen a woman. I felt in your bidding. Dimly day breaking, when the hermit boy came to bath in the stream, his tawny lock crowded on his shoulder like a cluster of the morning clouds, and his limbs shining like a streak of sunbeam. We laughed and sang as we rowed in our boat. We jumped into the river in a mad frolic and danced around him when the sun rose staring at us from the water's edge in a flush of a divine anger. Like a child god, the boy opened his eyes and watched our moments in wonder deepening till his eyes shone like morning stars. He lifted his clasped hands and chanted a hymn of praise in his bird-like young voice, thrilling every leaf in the forest. Never such words were sung into a mortal woman before. They were like the silent hymn of the dawn, which rises from over the thousand hills. The women hid their mouths with their hands, their bodies swaying with the laughter, and the stamps of doubt ran across his face. Quickly came I to his side, solely plain, and bowing to his feet, I said, Lord, accept my service. I led him to the grassy bank, wiped his body with the end of the silken mantle, and kneeling on the ground, I dried his feet with my trailing hair. When I raised my face and looked into his eyes, I felt the world's first kiss to my first woman. Blessed am I, blessed is God who made me a woman. I heard him say to me, what God unknown are you? Your touch is the touch of the immortal. Your eyes are the mystery of the midnight. And no, not that smile, king's counselor. The dust of the worldly wisdom has covered your sight, old man. But the boy's innocence pierced the mist and saw the shining truth, the woman divine. The woman clapped their hands and laughed, their absence laughed, and the wheels dragged out the dust, and his hanging loose, they began to pelt him with flowers. Alas, my spotless son could not be the shamed wave fiery mist of the cover you into his folds. I felt at his feet and cried, forgive me. I fled like the stricken deer through the shade and sun and cried, I fled, forgive me. The woman's fall laughed to press me like a cracking fire, but the words ever rang in my ears, the what God had known I you. Take back your coins. I would ask for still more. I would ask for still more if I had the sky with all its stars and the world with its endless riches, but I would be content with the smallest corner of this earth if only she were mine. There is room for you. There is room for you. You are alone with your few sheaves of rice. My boat is crowded. It is heavily laden, but how can I turn you away? Your young body is slim and swaying. There is a twinkle smile in the edge of your eyes, and your robe is colored like the rain cloud. That traveler will land for different roads and homes. You will sit for a while on the prow of my boat at the journey's end. None will keep you back. Where do you go, and to what home are gone your sheep? I will not question you, but when I fold my sails and move my boat, I shall sit and wonder in the evening, where do you go, and to what home to garner your leaves? Last night in the garden. Last night in the garden I offered you my youth's foaming wine, lifted the cup to your lips, you shut your eyes and smiled while I dressed your wheel, unbound your stresses, drawing down upon my breast, your face sweet with its silence. Last night when the moon's dream overflowed in the world of slumber, today in the dew, cold calm of the dawn, you are walking to God's temple, bathed and robed in white with a basket full of flowers in your hand. I stand aside in the shade under the tree with my head bent in the calm of the dawn by the lonely road in the temple. It is written in the book. It is written in the book that man, when 50, must leave the noisy world to go to the forest seclusion. But the poet proclaims that the forest hermitage is only for the young, for it is the birthplace of flowers and haunts of birds and bees, and hidden hooks are waiting there for the thrill of lovers' whispers there. The moonlight, that is all one kiss for a multi flowers, has this deep message, but who will understand it far below 50? And alas, youth is inexperienced and willful, therefore it is but meet that the old should take charge of the household and the young take to the seclusion of forest shades and the severe discipline of courting. A message came. A message came from the youth of vanished days saying, I wait for you among the queering of unborn May, where smiles ripen for tears and the hours ache with songs unsung. It says, come to me across the worn-out track of age through the gates of death. The dreams fade, hope fail, and far the fruits of the year decay, but I am eternal truth, and you shall meet me again and again in the void of life, from shore to shore. Are you a mere picture? Are you a mere picture and not as true as those stars, true as this dust? They throb with the pulse of the things, but you are immensely aloof in your stillness, vented form. The day was when you walked with me, your breath warm, your limbs singing of life. My world found its speech in your voice and touched my heart with your face. You suddenly stopped in your walk in the shadow side for forever, and I went on alone. Life like a child laughs, shaking its rattle of death as it runs. It beckons me on. I follow the unseen, but you stand there where you stop behind the dust and those stars, and you are mere picture. No, it cannot be. Had the life flood utterly stopped in you, it would drop the river in its flow, and the footfall of the dawn on her cadence of colors. Had the glimmering dusk of your hair vanished in the hopeless dark, the woodland shade of the summer would die with its dreams. Can it be true that I forgot you? We hessed on without heed, forgetting the flowers of the roadside hedge, yet they breathe unaware into our forgetfulness, filling it with music. You have moved from my world to take seat at the root of my life, and there in this forgetting remembrance, lost in its own depth. You are no longer before my song, but one with me, them. You came to me with the first ray of dawn. I lost you with the last gold of evening. Ever since I am always finding you through the dark now. You are no mere picture. Dying, dying you have left behind. Dying you have left behind you the great sadness of the eternal in my life. You have painted my thoughts horizon with the sunset colors of your departure, leaving a track of tears across the earth to love's heaven, clasped in your dear arms, life and death united in me in a marriage bond. I think I can see the washing there is in the balcony which you lap lightly when we are the end and the beginning of all things made. My world went hence through the doors that you opened, you holding the cup of death to my lips, filled it with life from your own. Where is heaven? Where is heaven, you ask me, my child? The sages tell it is beyond the limits of birth and death, and swayed by the rhythm of day and night. It is not on the earth. But your poet knows that its eternal hunger is for time and space, and it strives evermore to be born in the fruitful dust. Heaven is fulfilled in your sweet body, my child, in your palpitating heart. The sea is beating its drums with joy. The flowers are at tiptoe to kiss you, for heaven is born in you and the arms of a mother's dust. The road is. The road is my wedded companion. She speaks to me under my feet all day. She sings to my dreams all night. My meeting with her had no beginning. It begins endlessly at each daybreak, renewing its summer in fresh flowers and songs, and her every new kiss is the first kiss to me. The road and I are lovers. I change my dress for her night after night, leaving the tattered cumber of the old in the wayside inns when the day dawns. I traveled the old road. I traveled the old road every day. I took my fruits to the market, my cattle to the meadows. I ferried my boat across the stream, and all the ways were well known to me. One morning my basket was heavy and with wares. Men were busy in the fields and pastures, crowded with cattle, the breast of earth heaved with the mirth of the ripening rise. Suddenly there was a tremor in the air, and the sky seemed to kiss me on the forehead. My friend started up. Like the morning out of the mist, I forgot to follow the track. I stepped a few races from the path, and my familiar world appeared strange to me, like a flower I had only known in bud. If my everyday wisdom was ashamed, I went astray in the fairyland of things. It was the best luck of my life that lost my path that morning and found my eternal childhood. She dwelt here by the pool. She dwelt here by the pool with its landing stairs and ruins. Many an evening she had watched the moon, made dizzy by the shaking of bamboo leaves, and on many a rainy day the smell of the wet earth had come to her over the young shoots of rice. Her pet name is known here among those date palm groves in the courtyard where girls sit and talk while stitching their winter quiz. The water in this pool keeps in its depth the memory of her swimming limbs, and her wet feet had left their marks day after day on the footpath leading to the village. The women who came today with their vessels to the water have all seen a smile over smile, simple jest, and the old peasant taking his bullocks to their bath used to stop at the door every day to greet her. Many a selling boat passes by this village, many a trappings rest beneath that banyan tree. The ferry boat crosses the yonder ford, carrying crowd to the market, but it never noticed this spot by the village road, near the pool with its ruined landed stairs, where dwelt she whom I love. Aha! Your days. Your days will be full of cares if you just give me your heart. My house by the crossroads has its doors open, and my mind is absent for I sing. I should never be made to answer for it if you must give me your heart. If I pledge my word to you in tunes now, and I'm too much in earnest to keep it When music is silent, you must forgive me. For the law laid down in May is best broken in December. Do not always keep remembering if you must give me your heart. When your eyes sink with love and your voice ripples with laughter, my answers to your questions will be kind and not miserly, accurate facts. They are to be believed forever and then forgotten for good. I love you all. My God, so beautiful. Please keep me inspired, okay? I love to love you all with sharing these poems of Tagore. Amazing. Book to tomorrow.